What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Lenny's Fishing. So today I've come through the tunnel again, through the Tyne tunnel, just north of the Tyne, and again I'm back on a rock mark trying for them summer codlins. The problem is I've turned up and I don't know how much you can see of it, but there's a little bit of a swell running, so that might make things a little bit tricky today. But it's a good experiment, because usually, you know, if you're pleasure fishing, you see the conditions weren't ideal and you might put yourself off. I've come back to the mark where the last time I had the Suprise pollock. I've turned up about half an hour before low tide because I've just come out the tattoo parlour. So my arm's wrapped up like a leftover kebab. So yeah, I've rushed away from the tattoo studio once I've had it finished, grabbed my gear, hide it in the van and come straight through the tunnel. I'm going to try and fish the last of the ebb tide on here. There's a bite straight away, look at that. Well, that was rudely interrupted, wasn't it? I'll have to keep an eye on that, like. So yeah, I'm going to fish the last of the ebb tide, and then I'm going to fish probably the first hour, maybe hour and a half of the flood. I'll see what happens, and then if I'm still feeling up to it once I've been pushed off here, then I might move to another mark where you can fish from mid tide to high tide. It all just depends on how we get on here, because if I absolutely smash out the park here, which I highly doubt I will, but if I do smash it out the park here, then there might be no reason to move. So as soon as I got down here, I baited up straight away, got my bait in the water, didn't want to waste no more time. And then I thought once I've chucked out, I'll bring you guys in. So it's out there now, and I'll bring us back in a few moments once I get my second rig out and just show you what we're doing today. And fingers crossed, maybe a decent codlin for the camera, or a surprise pollock. Enjoy watching, guys. As usual with me on the rock marks, rig of choice is a short pulley rig with a rotten bottom. That's £30 rotten bottom line, £80 Maxima Chameleon rig body with an £80 Maxima Chameleon hook snood. Some people think that's overkill, but when you're using £80 or £90 braid on the reel, you might as well match that with the hook snood, and then you have more pressure to try and pull fish out with snags. So I've managed to snaffle a few peeler crab. Anyone who lives in the northeast knows how hard this stuff is to get a hold of at the minute, and unfortunately I'm not getting it in very big numbers, so I cannot sell any. So I'm just keeping the little bits and bobs that I am getting for myself, which is fair enough. So I'll just peel the shell off that there. And like always, what I like to do is just nick the crab through the corner like that, so that it's almost hanging off. Fold it over, place it onto the back of the hook, and then I use the Tronix Pro twin bait needle. There's a few other twin bait needles like this on the market. I just use that as a bit of a paddle to hold on to. If you squeeze them all together, like so, get your bait elastic, and just start wrapping on. Up and down. And like I always say, apply quite a lot of elastic around the bottom of your bait where the eye of the hook meets the knot, and that should stop your bait from sliding up and down. And then once you're ready and you've got enough elastic on there, just snap it off, and then you just pull the hook snood away from the needle. Takes a little bit of pressure. Once you've done it, that comes out spick and span. And then that's ready to go. Oh, there's a bite there just as I'm showing you that. So usually when you're fishing in the summer, it's best to come out when it's flat calm and the water's drained clear if you're fishing for codlins in the kelp. I've took a bit of a chance today. The sea's been quite big the past few days, and it's only just starting to drop away. There's still a little bit of swell there, and there's loads of colour in the water as well. So I'm not expecting a great deal of red resident fish to be lying in the kelp beds. But as long as I get a few bites and maybe get into 1 or 2 fish, that keeps me entertained, and it also keeps you guys entertained. And for those that were wondering how I register the bite when I have my back turned to the rod, if you just slacken your drag off a little bit when you're using braid, when that fish pulls down on the rod, when that fish pulls down on the bait, you'll hear the drag coming off the, you'll hear the line coming off the reel when the drag clicks. So unless you're deaf, then you should be alright. So last time I was here, for those that watched the previous video, and if you did watch it, thanks for watching. I came on here expecting fish on the ebb tide as the tide was going out, and it was very hard. I had 1 small codlin, and then unexpectedly when the tide turned and started flooding, I got a surprise pollock which was around the 4 pound mark. So today I've come down 45 minutes before low tide, and I'm going to have a little bit of experiment. I'm going to have a little bit of an experiment, and I'm going to fish the first hour or so of the flood just to see if that makes much of a difference in my theory. Problem is, like I say, this bit surf that's running probably will knock the majority of the fish off that would usually be here. But we'll give it a go, because why not? And like I say, I've got the option to move as well once that tide comes in, if I fancy trying somewhere different. First chuck's been out for about 15-20 minutes, and I've got about 15 minutes before low tide. So I'm just going to whip this in, get another bait out and see if I can get something before that tide turns. It was nibbling away this, like, but it might have just been a rockman. Let's see if there's anything lying on here. Nah, nothing on. So I'll get this whipped in, get the next bait out. Fingers crossed we can get some action. Right, this is the second bait that I've just showed you when I was baiting up. So, get my finger guard out. I'm having to chuck like a bit further today than just the usual overhead lobs. Just with that little bit of swell, that's quite close in, and the kelp and it being really shallow. Just trying to get over the back of them, like so. Yeah, I'll have to put a little bit more into it. Considering there's a canny headwind, I still managed to get it out there, like, and it's still in the rough ground as well. Sometimes when you're on rough ground marks, you know, you chuck too far, you end up on sand, because there's a lot of rough ground marks that are only rough ground for, like, I don't know, the first 80 to 100 yards. Once you go past that, you're chucking on clean sand. Don't get us wrong, there's loads of marks where, for as far as you could probably chuck, you'll be in rough ground. But certain marks, if you're learning a new mark, just make sure you try in both distances and suss out where the better ground is, rather than just blamming it as far as you can every time. Should we have a little bit crack about how the fishing and that's gone at the minute around the local coastline. So, middle of July now. Well, actually, it's getting on to the end of July. I think it's the last week of July, isn't it? Is it the 21st today? And so we're approaching the end of July within the next 9-10 days or so. And the mackerel fishing has been extremely slow. So all the lads who like to get out mackerel fishing, which I know a lot of the bait fishing lads would hate nothing more, and they've got their opinion on mackerel fishermen. But as a tackle shop owner, it's my bread and butter for the summer. So when they don't turn up in numbers and people give up, that costs me my living. So it's not been ideal in that aspect. Like, the summer cod fishing's still been pretty hard. There has been a few more fish starting to show in the past couple of weeks, but again, not the numbers that we would expect to see in July. And then we've had a bit of a northeasterly sea come away, and that puts things back by a week or so sometimes. You know, if you get a big sea that runs, a lot of the fish that have become resident in the kelp beds move off. So I hasn't been too good on the local coastline. I know the lads a little bit further south of me, from like Horden and Seaham and that sort of area, have done really well with the bass fishing. So fair play to them for getting on some nice fish. The bass fishing is becoming more and more popular and more predominant in the northeast, like. But I haven't really heard many fish coming from the South Shields area, or even just like north of the Tyne either. I know the lads who go a little bit deeper into Northumberland have done all right with a few bass and the odd sea trout, but nothing compared to what it was like last year up there. There's still time for it to come on, you know. You've still got the whole of August. It just switches on like someone's flicked the switch, really. So for a bit of luck for the lads who are into that sort of fishing, I hope that you do get the rewards for putting the effort in eventually this summer. Like, same as myself when I'm coming out cod fishing on the rocks. You wouldn't think it would be so much to ask to try and get, you know, 2 or 3 fish ranging from 2 to 4 or 5 pound, or even every now and then you get one decent fish, 4, 5 or 6 pound. That used to be the norm, and it just seems to be getting harder and harder, like. But we'll keep going out and we'll keep trying, because it's the love of the sport, innit? It's not all about catching fish. It's just about getting out in the fresh air, clearing your mind, and putting your mind on something to focus on. Take your mind off all the other shite that goes on in everyday life. And hopefully people like me and some other YouTube channels can provide some sort of fun or some sort of entertainment for the people who are struggling to get out fishing. They can sit in the house on a night time and stick stuff like this on the telly and watch people like me chatting shite to the camera and trying to catch fish. It keeps you going until you can get out the next time, or it might spur you on to go out a little bit more often. Or if you haven't had the bug for it for a while and you watch a daft video and someone's getting a few fish, or they just look like they're enjoying themselves, maybe it just kicks them up the arse to pick their gear up and get out fishing, which is good. I'm enjoying doing the videos, and it's keeping us busy as well whilst I'm pleasure fishing, because the past couple of years I've sort of just been focused on like cod matches and stuff like that, which is great. It's very competitive and it's very intense, especially when you get deep into it and you're trying to compete for top spots and stuff like that. It sometimes does take away a little bit from just going out there and relaxing. And to be honest with you, I find it relaxing talking to the camera and stuff, because I feel like I'm talking to an audience of people who want to listen. And it's good to know that the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years is being put to good use. And I've got some decent crack as well sometimes, you know. I'm not always a keep boring fucker. So I'm going to leave on this. You've got August and a couple of weeks of September. And for all the lads, I keep saying, roll on the winter, roll on the winter. It will be here before you know it. And then you'll all be saying, I can't wait for the summer. So just enjoy the moment. Get out in the sun. Doesn't matter what you do, whether you go bait fishing, spinning, float fishing, fly fishing, pike fishing, anything. Just make the most of a couple of sunny days fishing, so that when the winter does come round, at least you can say that you went out and enjoyed the sun. And then before you know it, you'll be in the middle of October, middle of November, freezing cold on the rock edges, hopefully getting into some nice winter cod. But just enjoy the summer for now, guys. You've still got 4 to 6 weeks of it left. And they're very short-lived, so why would you want to wish it away? We all love a bit cod fishing in the winter, and all the other type of fishing that people do up and down the country in the winter as well. But there's plenty of time for that. It'll come and it won't be long. Right, now I've finished with my bit crack on. I'm going to bait that spare rig up, get the third bait ready. And I think by the time I'm ready to cast out, that'll be bang on low tide. Well, it's actually about bang on low tide now, but by the time I cast the next bait out, it should be the start of the flood. So at least I haven't gotten here and it's absolutely lifting with fish on the ebb tide and thinking, oh, I wish I had got here an hour earlier. I've had 2 chucks on the ebb and I haven't had anything come of it, so it's a little bit of a positive as well as a negative, like, because it would be nice to catch a fish, but it's a little bit of a positive in a sense. You've got to take the positives from the negatives, guys. Right, crack on, eh? You're probably sick of hearing my voice. I'm sick of hearing my own voice. Right, that's the next bait sorted. Let's see if this guy's lying on, or whether it was just a Ronald Rockland trying to wind us up. Oh God! If it is lying on, I think it's a poor beagle. Look at it! Ah, God. Nah, there's no on there, like, and I've lost my lead. So rock bottom's done its job, but no fish to come back with it. Right, I'm gonna hide this next bait out over to the left rather than straight out. Just change position, see if there's a fish lying in a different patch of ground. Sometimes when I'm doing my videos, you know, I feel like I talk a bit much, but I've got to tell you what's going on through my head. Otherwise, we're just going to be sat in silence. So, and there's a lot of stuff going through my head when I'm fishing, so I hope you don't mind. But once I get going, like, I'm a bit of a chatterbox and I'm hard to stop, so. But it's all good cracking it. Right, I'll try and get this one over to the left a bit. That's better. Again, I'm just going to reel it in a little bit, try and get it onto some rough ground. Yeah. So if you're a subscriber to the channel, thanks for tuning in again. I just wanted to say that if you're new to the channel, you can go back through some previous videos and just watch a few bits that I've done on fishing the rocks in Northumberland. Some really good handy information on there about how to target cod in the kelp beds in the summer months. And then obviously that information carries over to these new videos. And if you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out, just give us a subscribe, please. Helps the channel grow. Was that a bite or a swell? Just a swell. So like I was saying, helps the channel to grow, and it costs nothing for you to subscribe. It just grows the channel. I get more viewers, the videos do better, and it makes it worth more while for me doing them. And for those that are already subscribed, thanks for subscribing and thanks for watching. We'll continue cracking on, and hopefully with a bit of luck I can bring something that swims in the sea and put it in front of the camera for you. So the flood tide's pushing in now, as you can see here. I'm going to get my gear, move it back a little bit. This is the fourth chuck. No bites on this one. This was the one that I've just chucked over to the left. I'll probably have one or two chucks with the flood pushing back, and if things don't progress, I'll probably jump in the van and move, go somewhere else. Absolutely now over there, so I've moved again. This time I'm just going to overhead flop it, like, because it's no harm in trying. You never know, do you? Right, here we're going. Little overhead thump. Just get on the end of this rock. Confidence is starting to dwindle now on here, like, so I think it looks like it'll definitely be a move very shortly. I'm just trying to save the blank on here before I go. Hey, can't win them all, eh? Ah. Oh, it feels good to sit down, like. I think I'll just chill out here for 15-20 minutes and then make a decision. And hopefully within that time, the rod goes boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's a bite there. Oh, that's a better bite. Hey, I knew it would be worth just plopping one, like. Ah, don't say it's dropped it, like. Oh, he's still there. Go on, take it again. Way, I got him. Doesn't feel too bad actually. Well, I didn't expect to get that closer in, like. It's on top of the water already. He's a sized fish, like. That must be shallow, really shallow where I've just cast there. Oh, he's not a bad fish. Oh, it's a lovely bass. Hey, I tell you what it is like. This place just gives surprise after surprise, doesn't it? Wow! Last time it was a pollock, and this time it's a bass. I don't believe it. I mean, it's no monster, but I'm going to start calling this the surprise mark. So there you have it. A nice silver bar. I didn't expect that. Same as I didn't expect the pollock last time I fished here. But I'll take it. The surprise mark, eh? There it is. He's by no means any monster, but he's well in size and it's in season. So unfortunately for this little guy, my mum and dad absolutely love wild bass, so they'll be getting a treat, because I don't eat fish, but they'll certainly enjoy this one. And just in its mouth there, just to show you what they've been feeding on. Crab leg there, look. Well, there you go. That short lob was worth going, wasn't it? Saved the blank with a lovely surprise. Champion. So just out of curiosity, I thought I'd just wait, see what it weighs. So my guess was about £2.8, £2.5. Let's have a look. Oh. £2.6. Well, that wasn't far off, 2 ounces off. There you go. Well, I take back what I said earlier on now about not getting many bass north of the tyne, because that's made us look like a right idiot, hasn't it? But you just don't expect to get them on the rocks when you're bait fishing up here, like, not when you're fishing for cod. So, took us by surprise once again. So I'll have this chuck. I might have one more after this. We'll see what happens. And then I'm going to move somewhere else and see if I can get you a codlin. Or a surprise pollock. No, that's hopeful, like, but you never know, do you? I'm going to quickly get this one in. Nothing on there, like. So yeah, one lucky billy bass who just seemed to be coming past at the right time. Nice way to save a blank. Stay tuned though, because I'm only moving. The video's not finished yet. And once I get moved and I get set up and sorted, I'm going to have a mooch around, see where I fancy. I'll bring you back and we'll try and get into a codlin or two before the end of the session. Right, so I've just moved locations, come round the corner to a market seat and sluice. I've got a couple of young lads to my left there, and I've jumped on this little point on the right. So, get the first bait put out here, and hopefully we can get into a codlin or two. The sea's a little bit flatter here, and it doesn't look like there's as much colour in the water either. So fingers crossed. You won't see much of us casting on here, because I'm going to have to walk up a hill behind us to get some room to cast, because there's not a lot of room to cast down here. So, but yeah, I'll bring you back when the action starts. Right, so that's out. Now it's a waiting game. Whatever it is isn't there. I bet you'd strip me hook rope. stripped. Not a good start. Got Ross here. And what's his name?
Leo, it's Baxter.
Baxter. What's your name? Leo. And they want you to go onto TikTok and follow, what is it?
Tyne catchers.
Tyne catchers on TikTok.
Geordie Fishers as well.
And Geordie Fishers. Couple of good lads. I've watched your stuff on TikTok. So there you go. Right, see you later lads. Good luck, right? So there you go. Couple of good lads. Local lads around here. See the TikToks and stuff on Tynemouth Pier. They're always into the fish. It's good to see the young ones out fishing like. I was a bit starstruck when I came down because I sat down, set my gear up and I heard, "Hey, is your name Lenny?" I says, "Aye. We're watching your YouTube video last week." I says, "Ah, champion." So fair play, cheers for watching lads. And like I said, if you are TikTok users, anyone who's watching, jump on TikTok. Whoa, there's a proper bite. Jump on TikTok and follow the accounts that I mentioned before. That was a good bite, that like. Doesn't feel like anything's on there though. Sometimes you just get them hit and run bites, but that was a good one that. I'll put it down, see if it comes back. So aye, that's Tyne catchers and Geordie Fishers on TikTok. Give the young ones a bit of support. Great to see them out fishing. Trying as well, you know what I mean? Not just coming down messing about, asking questions and stuff like that. That's what it's all about, man. Couple of little taps there again, like. Yeah, that could be a wrasse, that. Well, he's hooked. He's just stuck in the kelp. Oh, wait. Oh, it's very heavy, that, like. If this is lip hooked, I've got no chance of getting this in. Because when I go for the break, it'll just pull the hook out the lip. I'll give it a few more seconds, see if it gets itself out. Nah, that's solid, that. I'm going to have to try and go for the break and hopefully with a bit of luck, the fish comes with us. Now I've pulled the fish off there, exactly like I said. That's a nightmare, that. Could feel it lunging, stuck in the kelp. But the hook must have just been in the lip, and when I've gone for the break there, it's just popped the hook out its lip. It happens quite frequently when using braid in the kelp and you're getting fish stuck and stuff. Never mind, at least there's something there. Shame about that last bite I had, like, because it's definitely a sizable fish on the end of the hook stuck in the kelp. Could feel it lunging away. I don't know if you could see it on the camera, lunging down when it was stuck. I tried to give it a bit of time to let it sell out, and when it didn't, I went for the pull just to see if I could edge it out the kelp, and unfortunately the hook pulled, which, like I say, happens quite often fishing over these rocky areas using braid, and if your fish gets the hook just in its lip, it can only apply so much pressure before the hook pulls out its lip, so it is what it is. Just quickly go over something as well, a little tip for anyone who might end up fishing a mark where they're fishing up a height. You might be wondering, how do you return any fish from a mark like this where you can't access the water? So the best thing to do is to get your gripper wire on your lead and just place it through the gill plate on the fish, and then just lower the fish down with your anti-reverse on your reel, and as soon as the fish hits the water, the buoyancy of the fish lifts the fish away from the gripper wire and it's able to swim free. So that's the best survival rate for returning fish from up a height. And you shouldn't damage a fish either if you place the grip wire carefully into its gill plate. So just for those that have never really thought about that or haven't fished any marks that are up a height, that's just a little bit of advice for how you can return fish. You know, if I was to catch a wrasse or something up here which I wouldn't take for anyone to eat because no one I know really likes to eat them, then that's how I would return it. There's a little bite there. Oh. Let's see. Oh, that's a little bit better again. That one seems to have dropped the bait again. I'll get my next bait up ready. I'll see what happens on the next truck. Oh, there we go. I nearly spoke too soon. Well, I've got it, but it is small. Hopefully it's a codlin. Who knows? Not me anymore. I used to think I did. Well, I was just about to say I'll get the next bait ready and see what happens, but I might have a couple of more trucks now. It would be rude not to. Yeah, it's a codlin. Not the biggest in the world, so I probably will be able to demonstrate that method on how to return the fish from up a height. He's about a pound. Oh no. He'd be lucky to be size actually, my bad. It's undersized. But he's hooked just in the corner of the mouth there. So I'll get this hook out and then I'll demonstrate on how you can return your fish from up a height. Finally got one. Right species, wrong size. Nice little Tommy codlin. Right, show you how to get them back. I'm just going to gently place the grip wire through its gill plate, which causes no damage to the fish at all. Like I say, it's not ideal having to do this, but it does give them the best rate of survival. So he's just hanging on there, and then I'm just going to go over here, anti-reverse, all the way down. And there you go. Yeah. There you go. Couple of kicks and he's off. So that's the best way to return your fish from up the cliffs, guys. Right, I'll get a fresh bait on. We'll have another couple of chucks. See if we can get anything bigger. But at least it hasn't been a complete waste of time. I've had a nice surprise bass and a small codlin. The cherry on the top would be a codlin that was decent-ish size. I'd like to say like 2.5 to 3 pound upwards. That would put the cherry on the top, but I'm not going to get too greedy. I'm not actually going to go up the hill and cast out this time. I'm going to just try the famous old overhead thump, because it's worked for us the past few times I've been out, and every now and then it is nice to just drop one a little bit shorter and cover more ground. So we'll just give this one an overhead thump. And see if anything comes of that. That's never stopped tapping away. So I've got 2 more chucks left in us, and I'm debating on whether to do both of them at distance or whether to do one short and one at distance. It's just put us off chucking short because this was the only chuck where I've had like really small bites. Like really, really small bites, I mean, not just like poor bites. These bites have been proper. Well, hold that thought. That small bite has turned into don't know what it is, I can't really tell from here, but it's a fish. Well, it looks like I'll be doing the next truck with an overhead thump as well then. Can't tell if it's a codlin or a small wrasse. I think it's a wrasse. I had a feeling I might pick one of these up here. The hook's just in its lip, so I don't hold much confidence for this coming up. Let's have a look. Hey, not a bad day for species. Alright, here we go. See if I can get this on camera for you or it drops off. There he is. Hey, a bass, a wrasse, and a codlin. Not bad. Lovely fish, they just look stunning. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Look at the teeth on them as well. Oh. I think it's me brother from another mother. Right. Straight off the hook. It's just in its lip. I'll get this on the end of the gripper wire and get him sent back down to fight another day. Right. He's gone straight away, no problems whatsoever. So that's the benefit of your fish getting lip hooked. Much better survival rate if you want to return them. Right, second last chuck. See what else we can pull out the bag. It's actually turned out to be a canny day, to be honest. As much as the fishing hasn't been red hot like, I'm not complaining with what I've had. I've certainly had worse days. Right, we'll go for the overhead thump again, and then we'll do the last chuck at distance and see what happens. I hope that's taught anyone a lesson who does go fishing and just decides every single chuck they're going to give it their almighty and put everything that they've got into it, because that's twice today that I've just dropped it short and ended up with fish both times. And on the last video that you watched when I had that pollock, that was also just an overhead thump. It does pay to be able to cast, because there is certain situations where the fish aren't in close and they might be a little bit further out. But if you're one of them people that has the ability to cast a very long way, don't let it take over your fishing, man. I see so many people who cannot, for the life of them, bring themselves to just chuck it short. And I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's an ego thing or a confidence thing. No idea. But the proof's in the pudding. They're there at your feet. If they're not at distance, just try it. Even if it's just one chuck, just have a little go. You might end up with a little reward or a little surprise. Literally just sat down, 20 seconds, I've been on my box and it's biting away already. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring myself to put the next one at distance, like getting bites that quick closer in. And now I'm starting to wish I had more bait, because my next chuck's going to be my last chuck. I'll get back to you if this bite progresses. Time is running out for the elusive better codlin to show like. But I will keep trying. August's usually a good month. Usually. But I suppose along the way there's a few other things chucked in the mix. Bass and wrasse and pollock. Coalies and stuff every now and then. Slimy rocklands. Small codlins. and every now and then you get a better sized codling. If you have enjoyed watching the video, please subscribe. You can do it now whilst you're watching. There's a little button just under the screen that says subscribe, and if you just tap on that or click on it if you're watching it from a TV or a laptop, you can subscribe to the channel. It's free of charge, and it means every time I put a video on, you'll get a notification and you won't miss out on it. If there's anything anyone would like to see in the next video, or any advice or information that you'd like to know about, then drop it in the comments and I'll try my best to go through it in the next episode of Lenny's Fishing. Well, nothing on the last chuck. So guys, this is it. I'm Lenny Davies. This is Lenny's Fishing. Thanks for watching once again. I really appreciate it. And as always, until the next one, tight lines, keep fishing, keep trying. You never know what's going to come. I'll see you on the next one.